Hi all. In this video, we are going to learn about what is static variables. Or static variables are called. We can call it as a class level variables also. You will get to know why we are calling static variables as class level variables by the end of this video. And I am going to cover these topics: what is static variable, how to declare static variable, how to access static variables inside static area, how to access static variables inside non-static or instance area, what is the default behavior for the static variables by the JVM, where the static variables will be stored inside JVM. All those topics I am going to cover in depth so that you can easily crack the interview questions and you'll be able to answer all the interviewer questions. Okay, first let me start with what is static variable. Generally, the when we should go for when we should declare any variable as static means if the value of the variable is not changing from. Okay, what's happening here? 1 second, there's something is going wrong here. I'm just using changing from object to object, and throughout application value of the variable is same, then in such cases we have to declare the variable as static. Let me repeat this one more time. If the value of the variable is not changing from object to object, that means if you create one object, the value is same. If you create another object, the value is same. Like this, if you create 100 objects also, the value of the variable is not changing. And throughout our application, the value is sorry, the values remain same. Then in such cases, we have to declare those variables as static. So that is the definition of static variable. And how to declare the static variables? Generally, static variable should be declared with it should be declared with keyword static. Okay, this is the first one. And it should be declared at class level. Okay, it should be declared outside constructor block and method. Let me repeat. It should be declared with keyword static. It should be declared at class level. It should be declared outside the constructor, outside the block, and outside the method. Then we can call it as a static variable. Let me try to show you one example so that I will try to explain with one example these two steps. So here let me go and open one program here, Java program here. Let me write it as a static class name. Generally we need to starts with capital S, I mean capital letter. Static variable demo. This is fine, I guess. So it's better to create the class name with public keyword, public. Let me save this one for now so that control C, control S. I just want to save this one time. Wait, control V and then click on enter. So now this class is saved. Now I want to create one variable. As I told you, the first one is it should be outside, inside the class, outside the method, outside the constructor, and outside the block. So first one is I am making like int. I want to use the variable name is x. Okay, and the value is 10. Generally, this is an instance variable. Okay, if you use like this is a instance variable, but I want to declare static variable, then just go on here, use static keyword here. Now this is a static variable. If you see in for before inside before instance variable, if you denote that instance variable with the keyword static, then it acts as a static variable. Static variable. Okay, and as I told you, let us assume I have few more. I mean, like I have few more in inside class. There is no guarantee. Like always, we are having static variables only. We can have static variables. We can have instance variables, or else we can have both. So now let me try to add one instance variable to differentiate whether that variable is changing from object to object. I am going to show you that within a diagram. Let me try to one small program here. So here let me declare one more variable uh, y equal to 10. Okay, here I will write 10 or else I will write 20 here. Okay, so here let me go here. Let me try to create one variable here. So let's write this one. Here, let me try to declare this one. That's it. Or else let me try to remove this one. Okay. I will show you that one later. But for now, if you remember, there is one variable int x to denote to make this int x variable as static variable. We need to declare that variable with static keyword. Once this is done, the next one is you can see as I told you how to declare static variables. It should be declared, not clear, declared with the keyword static. Okay, if you come and see, this is the static keyword, and then go here. The next one, it should be declared at class level. If you see here, I have declared this is at the inside the class, outside the method, outside the constructor, outside the block. So all these three conditions are satisfied. Now we can say that particular variable is a static variable. Okay, now go to the next topic. What we need to cover here, how to access static variables inside the static area. Now actually if you see, this is the static variable. Now if you see at line number 7, this main method also static only because this method is declared with static keyword. So this is static. Now how to access this static variable directly inside static? Here, sorry, here we are having, uh, we can access in three ways. Let me try to show you. The first way is using object. Okay, now this one, let me try to create one object. Okay, here what is the class name? Here we need to use static variable. Okay, the class name, whatever the class name we have used, we are just using that one. Just paste this one and use some reference variable, and then use new operator for creating the objects. As I told you, for creating any objects, we are using new inside new for the in Java language. Now let me write one sysout here. System dot out dot println of. Here I am just using some colon here. That is static variable x value. I'm just using some space. I'm directly using, like, what is the variable name we are using? T here. On the T, we just need to call T dot the variable name X. This is one way. So as per my understanding, we should get 10 here. Okay. The next step is the next one, using class name. Now here simply we need to, like, let me write system dot out dot println of. Here we just use this one and write same content, like static variable X value, use some space, and here use plus symbol. Here what is the class name here? The class name is static variable. Take that class name, come here and just use that class name. On that class name we need to call the variable name. What is the variable name here? The variable name is X. Just simply call X. Here we should get 10 here. Okay. The next one is using the next step, directly using variable name. The next one is using variable name. The difference is, the first one is we are accessing the variable name variable with the object. The second one is we are using the class name to access the variable. Here we are directly using the variable name. So this one, let me try to write this one as well. Println of. Here simply come here and write like static variables x colon value colon, and then come here, just use the variable name. What is the variable we are using? X only. Simply use that X. So let me try to save this one. Now we should get the variable value as 10 here. Let's see, all these times we are getting 10 or not. Okay. Static variable uh, X using object. Okay. Object, let's see, let's remove this one. For now this one, variable X using class name, just remove the value here. Okay, and then come here using variable name, just remove the value here. I mean, just for understanding purpose, let me go and execute this one here. Go to Java programs. Here open the command prompt. Let's try to compile this one, Java C, and then static variable.demo.java. Click on enter. You can see it is saying like something, there is some error here. Okay, now you can see a static variables demo.java program is there. At line number 17 there is an error. It is saying like illegal start of expression. Where is that expression? It is clearly showing this this symbol, right? Where is the problem? Let's go and edit that one. You can see wherever you are using, this is the problem. We just need to remove this one. That is the one problem. Are we having anywhere that problem? Static variable t.text. Let me save this one and rerun it, recompile it. Let's see whether we are getting or not. This time it is able to compile successfully. Let me try to run that program and see whether we are getting expected output or not. You can see static variable X using object 10, static variable X using class name 10, static variable X using variable name 10. That means static variables we can access by using object name, by using class name, by using variable name inside the static area. But if you observe from these two, I mean the first one and second one, already the first one we are using for accessing the instance variable inside the static area, so it is not recommended. So I can write like this: it is not recommended, because already we are using this approach for accessing the instance variables inside static content. And one more is this one, to access the Here the third approach is very simple, right? We can directly use the variable name and we can get that variable name. But here we are writing one. If we see for getting the class name, we have to write some few characters of code here. So it's a time waste process, right? And even memory consume, it takes some memory, right? So it is also not recommended. So the best way of accessing the static variables inside the static area is with the class name, with the variable name. Okay, it is not recommended. This is one approach. Now the next one is, this is the best way. You can simply remember the best way. Okay, now with this I am able to complete how to access the static variables inside the static content. How many ways are there, those I have explained. Now let me go to next one. If we see how to access static variables inside the non-static or instance area. So for this one, if you go here, the next topic is how to access the static variables inside the static area. If you see, as of now, whatever the static variable we have declared, this static variable we are directly accessing inside the static method. Now my requirement is how to access this static variable inside the instance area. This is a static method, right? I want to access this one inside instance method. So let me try to create one instance method and let's see whether we are able to execute this one or not. What happened? So here, let me try to create one instance method here. Public. I'm not returning anything here. That's why public void print. Let me do control Z. Public void. I can say print static method is there. Okay. Print static method is there. I just want to print something inside this method. Just to come here and use some system variable here, like system dot out dot println of, write the some content here, like static variable from instance method, like this you can write it, and you can give some space, and you can directly call the variable name here. Here also this is also same as this third approach only. If you see in the third approach, we can directly access the static variable inside the static method using the just variable name. Same way we can use the variable name here. Let's see. Now I want to copy this one, and then I just want to call this one. That's it. Let me try to call the method. I just called it. Okay. Now let's try to execute this. Here also we should get output as 10. Let's see whether we are getting output as 10 or not. Let's go and recompile this one. Java static variable demo.java. Is there any errors? Yeah, it is saying like cannot be referenced from the static non-static method. Prints cannot be referenced from the static content. Yeah, thing is, this is a static method, right? From the static method we can't call the static non-static method directly. For that we need to use object. Already at line number 12 we have created object. We just need to use that object reference variable t dot and then that method. Let's save this one and try to compile it. It is compiled. Let's try to execute this one. You can see static variable from the instance method 10. With this, the conclusion is static variables we can directly access with the variable name inside static area or inside non-static area. That is the conclusion. The next one is we need to use I want to show you what is the default behavior by the JVM for the static variables. In the last video, we understood like for the instance variables, JVM will provide default values at the time of runtime. In the similar way, uh, does JVM will provide any default values for the static variables or not? We are going to verify now. So that we can check, like just go here, declare some variables here. I made it as of now I created as x, right? So let me try to use one more variable here, uh, or else I will copy. Okay, let me try to create one more variable, then control S. Let me try to create one more class, and first explaining that one, go here and then click on Java. You can use like JVM default behavior. Okay, and then use like public, and then copy this name simply, and then click on Control S. It will ask your Java program name. Come here, paste that one, and click on S, save here. Once that is done, let me try to declare few in static variables, and let's see whether JVM will provide any default values for those static variables or not. Let me try to declare int some x equal to some x. Okay, and then I want to make it a static, and then come here, uh, static double y, and then static, I want to declare string, and then name. Okay, here these are the default these are the static variables are declared. Now I want to see, I want to execute the system.out.println here. So inside this one, I am going to write like default value for, what is that, variable x. Okay, just and then use here, use plus symbol, and then what is that variable name, x. Like this you just need to let me try to copy and paste here. I can save some time here. Let me paste here default value for the next one. What is that one, variable y, and then default value for variable is name. Use the name here. What is the variable name here, name here. And what is the variable name above, y. Instead of x we need to use y. Now as per my understanding, we should get the values as here 0, here we should get 0 0.0, and we should get the null, because at runtime if there are no values are assigned with initialized with the static variables, JVM will take those variables and it will initialize those variables with default values. For integer the default value is 0, for the double the default value is 0 0.0, for the string the default value is null. Let's try to execute and see whether we are getting same or not. Let me come here, Java C JVM, what is that, JVM default behavior control. Yeah, now it is compiled successfully. Let's try to run JVM default behavior. You can see the default value for the variable x equal 0, default value for the variable y equal 0 0.0, default value for variable name equal null. That means here at runtime, if there are no values or no value, I mean, if at runtime the static variables are not initialized with any variables, then at runtime JVM will provide default values for those variables. The default values will be based on the data types. For the integer the default value is 0, for the string the default value is null, for the boolean the default value is false. So with this I am able to cover JVM default behavior for the static variables. Now I want to tell you where the static variables will be stored inside JVM. Generally, let me show you with here. Here, let us assume this is one area. Okay, let us assume this is a JVM. Okay, inside this JVM, we are having one block here. This block is nothing but the, I can call it as a heap area. Okay, here what will be stored here, inside heap area objects will be stored, and then Inside objects, what will be there? Instance variables will be stored. Okay, instance variables will be there. Okay, let me try to use instance variables. In the similar way, inside JVM, we are having one more area called method area. Let me try to let me use Control Z. This is nothing but the method area. Whatever I am showing, this is method area. Here, inside this method, what will be there? Inside this method, we are having the classes and we are having static variables. Okay, all these will be stored inside method area. So the conclusion is instance variables are part of the object, so objects are storing inside the heap area. This is one point. Method area, all the static variables are part of the class, but these are not part of the objects. That's why all the static variables and classes are storing inside method area, which is inside the JVM. Okay, so with this, I am able to cover what is, I mean, in the previous video, I explained what is instance variable, and current video, I have explained what is static variable. So let me try to come and see whether I covered everything or not. Here, I have covered like what is static variable. So I have covered like how to declare static variable and how to access the static variables inside the static area, how to access the static variables inside static, non-static or instance area, what is the default behavior for the by the JVM for the static variables, where the static variables will be stored inside JVM. I have covered each and everything. If you have any doubts, please do let me know in the comments. I will try to answer your questions. Please do like, share, and subscribe for more encouragement. Thank you so much, guys.